So to get a quick test, you lick your fingers, 2 of them, and you're going to touch the ground and the black. And you just drag it across real quick. Now you can pull the siding off. It's going to be a giant pain in the butt, but it's got to come off, and I know there's multiple layers of stuff in there. That wasn't too bad. Gotta have your safety squints on though. Man, this is so strange. Wonder why they nailed all this scrap wood up on here. If you got guesses, put it down below. It's clearly scrap wood used from somewhere else. You got this notch here. There was a couple other ones. But then there's these weird angled holes here. They're all angled in like that. Like that board was used for something else a long, long time ago. You see how they piece this little piece in here, this little piece, that little zigzag, and this is shiplap or angled old siding here. One facing this way, one facing that way. Hey guys, today's video is brought to you by FlexiSpot. I'll be assembling this Japanese joinery bed. It's designed to go together using traditional Japanese joinery. Well, FlexiSpot is a global brand that focuses on ergonomic and space-saving furniture. I first learned of FlexiSpot when they sent out this standing desk. I've been using this for quite some time. So now that I know this is going to fit, there is an optional headboard. And if I'm looking at this correctly, the headboard replaces those 2 legs. And if that's the way it goes together, this will be a perfect fit. This bed did go together tool-free. Now they did send a little hammer to tap in the wedges that go around the 4 posts. That's the only tool that I used. Once you get everything laid out, it takes about 10 minutes. The rails and the posts lock and snap into place, eliminating any complicated instructions. You can pretty much just look at the picture and figure out how to put this thing together. The defining feature of this bed frame is the traditional Japanese joinery. Doesn't rely on a bunch of screws to put it together. It has precision cut wood joints that interlock and secure the entire structure. Once assembled, the frame remains stable and firm. It doesn't wobble around, and it's notably quiet. There's no creaking, no rattling, no banging. If you are one of those people who tosses and turns at night and your bed constantly squeaks, you might consider upgrading to the Kana Japanese joinery bed frame. The finish on the wood stood out to me. They say it uses a Sherwin-Williams low VOC coating. I really need to look into what one they used because I could use some of that coating on my projects. There was no off-gassing smell, no odor that came from this. The headboard went together very easy. It's got a high back that supports
People who like to sit up in bed. There is an integrated little shelf behind the backboard. You can store little knickknacks, maybe a mobile device or decoration. Click the link below to experience the FlexiSpot bed frame for yourself. Do not miss out. I'll put a discount code down in the description. Transform your sleep with comfort, convenience, and unmatched value.
This is going to be a test fit of this last little rafter right there. But if it fits perfect, I got to be ready to secure it in place. There was a quick little rainstorm and I decided to remove this whole electrical thing here that was the exterior outlet. I mean, they used blue wires. I'm sure it's probably fine. They taped them the right colors, but you see they had quite a bit of electrical tape in this situation here. I am gonna cannibalize and take this box here. This box isn't gonna get ruined. Gonna trash the receptacles since they kind of got wet in this storm, but thought it'd be a good idea to get rid of this. Why'd they even put this in? Why didn't they just come out of that receptacle, come over here and pop out of the house with a weatherproof outlet? That's what we're gonna do in the future. But I got rid of all this crap here. It's all out of my way now, at least. The rain has stopped and I can get back to working on this wall. Here's my setup for installing the siding. This here is just under 10 feet. This is 5.5, almost 6 feet. Using these little gecko gauge jigs. Don't really like them that much. They don't work perfectly for this size siding. This is the 12-inch siding and it's meant for shorter siding, but I'm going to use them anyways. I also have my own little homemade jig here that sets the overlap. So the next layer is actually going to rest on top of that board. I've got my 2x2 in the corner. Installing this type of siding goes very fast. And I'm up above my head now. Thought I'd give you a little update on this jig. So you can see it naturally wants to like curve out, and the board would fall down, get wedged down here. So what I did is screwed a little block on at exactly the right height for the offset here. I think it's around 10 1/8 inches, and it's been working smoothly. Now I gotta set up something so I can work over my head. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more boards to go, and then I will start working on this side. This last angled cut here, I'm not going to do anything fancy. This end should fit perfectly under this nailer there. That nailer is for the future soffit. And I'm just going to hold it up there and trace it. Basically, I'm going to rest it on my little thing here and then start the tracing mark right around there, and it'll go up to there. That came out pretty darn good. Was not challenging at all. Once I got that little jig figured out, the gecko gauge. You're probably wondering what's going over here. This is going to be a crazy accent wall. It is not going to look like exterior siding. This little niche over here is hardly ever seen. So this side and probably the other side of the garage is also going to get this lap siding. But the main focus point over here, going to get something completely different, because you can't see this when you are over there at all. So I'm going to give you a little rundown on what this product is. It is OSB with wood grain like pressed into the outside. It's got a heavy coat of primer on it. This style of siding is designed to be caulked in. There's no metal flashing at all, no aluminum, no vinyl, no J channels, no channels at all. This is the way it's done in these parts. Everything gets caulked in, everything gets painted. This brown trim, that color is going to be the color of the trim. This siding color and this board here is going to change. You're going to have to stay tuned for this. This wall here could be $20,000 just for that wall.
Oh guys, there's a lot of questions about these materials that I used from, I think it was last two weeks ago video. This here is the ice and water. This is your go-to ice and water that you're going to find on just about every single roof out there these days. It is a peel and stick. You do not put a torch on this at all. When you're installing things like this, you try to go by the manufacturer's installation requirements. You can be very confident that you have your water barrier. The next is more of a UV barrier. That's this stuff here. But it is also another water barrier. But in this situation, this use case, its main purpose is to protect the ice and water. This is also a peel and stick only. You don't put a torch to this thing. Very sticky, not quite as sticky as the ice and water. I don't want to get it all over my hands. Extremely, extremely sticky. I don't know what else to tell you. There was just a lot of confusion about these products and how to use them. In general, you want to have some heat in the air on the roof surface when you're putting that sticky stuff down. The directions call for 40 degrees on one of them and like 45 degrees Fahrenheit and above for the other one. I think my air temperature was low 70s, and with the sun on the roof, it was easily over 100 degrees. So I'm very confident that that roof will never leak. I do have a Patreon video that just went up today, kind of a behind the scenes of life and work. And there's a shot of me on the roof in the middle of a rainstorm. And you can see up close at that stage of the project, right around this roof, what things are looking like and the way things are shedding off the roof. The link for Patreon is down in the description. It's also the only way to get in touch with me if you've got a question about your business, your home project. Today's video was about siding, and you might be surprised that I used Tyvek. If you've been following along with this remodel, you have a little bit of a background on the siding situation and the different layers. We had some metal siding, then we had foam, then we had that crazy scrap wood that was like puzzle pieced together, and it was puzzle pieced together quite well. Tiny little strips in the zigs and the zags. And then you've got this tar infused fiberboard. Definitely something you're going to want to put mustard on. There were some gaps in that tar infused fiberboard, so I went over it with Tyvek. This is a garage, it's not a habitable area. I know someone out there knows the exact name and the exact chemical makeup of what that board is. So drop that down in the comments so we can all learn what to call it. This type of siding, I've been using it since the 90s, with a slight exception. It used to be made of that cement board, and the corners would always blow out. Now it's all OSB. It's meant to be caulked in. There's no flashing, there's no channels, there's nothing but caulk and paint that keeps it waterproof. The gecko gauges, they are made of plastic. They're $90. Are they worth $90? It's better than hiring someone to show up and help me hold boards and have to watch them drool all over themselves and start twitching and moaning and, you know, transform into a zombie right in front of my eyes. If you got questions about this project, put them down below. I'll answer them next week. If you got more important pressing matters, reach out to me on Patreon. I'm always connected to a mobile device. A lot of the guys that are members on Patreon know that we go back and forth, sometimes late into the night. So if you got questions, feel free to hit me up on Patreon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.